I made a video on why women philosophers are not very mainstream, or are there any women philosophers. So that video received a lot of a decent response it received, despite being not very mainstream. So I thought, why not dig deep down in this topic and share some other stats and other reasons why women philosophers don't get the recognition they deserve or they should be getting. So I have my notes here. I'll be referring to these notes. First of all, please forgive my voice because I have sore throat, sore throat. I don't know. You get it, okay? So I'll refer to my notes during this video because I have written data and statistics or stats and other points down there because I don't want to say anything. Okay, so I will refer to these notes in this video. Okay, so to start with, first of all, I have a question which I'll be asking at the end of the video. Okay, so first thing, don't skip to the end part because that question won't make any sense if you don't watch the video. In UK, 46% of philosophy undergraduates are women, but the permanent staff, only 24% of permanent staff is female of in the philosophy domain. Okay, 21% of philosophers are female there, but only 17% are employed full time. According to a study by Karen Healy, the philosophy is more male than mathematics. Often we say that mathematics is male dominated, or we accept it as a fact that males are good at mathematics by default. And if we see a female, a girl student who is good at mathematics, either we call her an exception or a prodigy. Like, we don't accept that okay, all of the women will be good at mathematics, and we don't accept that a male candidate or a student will be bad at mathematics. By default they are good at mathematics. Okay, so Karen Healy said in his study that philosophy is more male than mathematics. It is so much dominated, and at least in mathematics we address that okay, if women are not good, men are good at mathematics. In philosophy we don't even talk about them. We don't even care to see whether there are any women in philosophy, whether they are good or bad at it, why is it so. We don't care about it. So that is one problem here. Hegel is a philosopher, was a philosopher. If you don't know, you can read a lot of work of him. Hegel said, I will quote him here: women can of course be educated, but their minds are not adapted to the higher sciences, philosophy, or certain of arts. The difference between, this is a very interesting sentence, the difference between men and women is the same as between animal and plant. So Hegel basically said that women are not fit for certain subjects, certain sciences, or certain form of arts or domains. So he straight cancelled the whole argument that okay, men are fit for this domain, women are not. So there is no debate of it. Okay, some people say that women look at things very differently, and here philosophy as a domain is at fault, that it doesn't go very well with their way of looking at things, their perspective, their way of thinking, and other things. Okay, third explanation is the family commitments. Family commitments make it very hard, very difficult for them to pursue something like philosophy. And even the stats show that women dominate in the this field of taking care of children, household chores, and other things. So yeah, that makes sense. But the catch here is that, is it easy for a woman to be a mother and a philosopher, or to be a mother and a scholar? It is obviously hard to be a scholar. So this reason doesn't go very well. This explanation doesn't go very well with this issue. So I personally don't think that this why this will be the reason that they have household things to take care of. That's why they can't be philosophers, or they can't work in philosophy as a domain. While they can work as scholars, they can teach French language, they can work on different form of literature, other arts. This doesn't make a very good sense to me personally. Explanation number 4 is sexual harassment. There is sexual harassment in the field, in the domain of philosophy. It is everywhere, sadly, unfortunately, and it is very hard to get data. Wow, it is very hard to get data because most of the cases don't get reported. So you can't actually have the real stats that okay, this is the number of women who get sexually harassed, or who got sexually harassed in past decade or something. Okay, now here comes the fifth explanation, which is which occupies the major part in this. In if we address all the explanations which we have covered by now, that these explanations are responsible, or this explains why women don't get the recognition they deserve in the domain of philosophy. So this occupies the major part. Okay, so this is implicit bias and stereotypes. Okay, so in psychology, implicit bias and what is implicit bias and what are stereotypes? Implicit bias is unconscious bias against a stigmatized group. For example, when it comes to leadership, people automatically think women can't be leaders. Like, okay, if you are a woman, you can't talk about being a leader. You can't talk about your own issues. How will you be a leader? You can't be a leader. They straight out cancel that. If a man talks about being a leader, people address it in a whole different way. They address it logically. Okay, you want to be a leader, do you have these 4 5 qualities? Do you have this manpower? Do you have this or that or whatever is required for to be a leader? When it comes to women, if a woman says that, okay, I want to be a leader, I want to participate in this election or create a union or council or something, people don't use logic. They say you can't. Even if they don't say, they think that she can't be a leader. They don't consider her as a competitor. Okay, so that is implicit bias. You are unconsciously wired and biased. Okay, that this person cannot do this, and I won't use logic here. You are wired that way. You don't know it, obviously. And second thing is stereotype. Now, what is stereotype? A stereotype is making people aware of their so-called stigmatized groups. Okay, like you can't do ABC because you are XYZ, or you are a girl so you will obviously play with dolls, you are a boy so you'll obviously be masculine, and you are this so you'll obviously be that. This is stereotype. So this implicit bias and this stereotype is the major reason why we have a lot of low quality work in in the domain of philosophy. Philosophy is stereotyped as male only. Okay, stereotypes lead to underperformance. Because why? Because when you tell people that you belong to this so-called stigmatized group, there is a certain psychological pressure and trauma and other things attached to it. People underperform even at the things they are good at. The biases lead to less recognition. Why? Because sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times, female philosophers' works is not given that recognition, is not given that importance, or is not read or examined with that sincerity which it requires. We should make sure that we consider it as a work of philosophy, as a work of thinking, critical thinking, and not as a work by women or a work of feminism. And we should not at all put all of the women work in female section, women empowerment section. If you are really concerned about women empowerment, then you have to be equally concerned about women's representation in all the fields, including philosophy, as philosophy is generally the mother of all the fields. So we covered 5 explanations. What are those 5 explanations? The one Hegel gave, that women can of course be educated, but their minds are not adapted to the higher sciences, philosophy, or certain arts. The difference between a man and a woman is that of an animal and a plant. Like, they can be educated but they are not fit for certain things. He simply closes the argument with saying, okay, they can't do this. Simple. Like a fish cannot climb a tree. This is the kind of argument Hegel gives. Hegel gave. And second one is, some people argue that women look at things differently and philosophy as a domain fails to adjust or fit in their view, in their way of looking at things. Third one being family commitments. But there's this catch, like how can it is easier for a mother to be a philosopher, but it's hard for a mother to be a scholar because that takes more time. Explanation number 4, we have that sexual harassment. A lot of sexual harassment doesn't get reported, so we don't have clear data, but obviously there's sexual harassment. And the fifth one being implicit bias and stereotype. We have this wiring, biological wiring, psychological wiring, that we don't take women or leadership together. We take men and masculinity together. These are these are implicit biases. And stereotyping is, when we see a girl, we simply say, okay, this girl will like dolls, they will like to play with dolls. When we see a boy, okay, you will play with toy guns. I read a book. There's this book, Why Women Can't Read Maps, and why men don't listen, and why women can't read maps. In that book, there was this research or study where it was the people gave blue cars or blue toys to boys and pink dolls and something to girls. There was this study done, research done, so on the similar lines. So people associate color with gender, people associate things and habits with gender. This is stereotyping. Okay, so this implicit bias and stereotypes lead to low underperformance and low quality of work, and all the work by women not getting that recognition which they deserve, as we look at them through our bias. We are already biased. So these are the things which are mainly responsible why women don't get the recognition they deserve, and why women's philosophical works are not given that recognition, or why they are not kept in the philosophy section of the library and always kept in the women empowerment, feminism, and other women related issues of the library issue section of the library. Okay, so coming to the question now, first of all, if you skipped the video to come here, then I request you to go back and watch the video, because the question won't make much sense to you then. The question is very simple thing. I was going through my YouTube analytics and I saw that when I started my channel, I had almost 50-50% ratio of male and female viewers. But now when I cross 3 or maybe more months doing running this channel, the female ratio has dropped significantly. Like I have 14-15% of female viewership. I will show it to you right here on the screen. I have 40-50% of female viewership, and rest of them are male viewers. So I was thinking, why is it so? Like my videos are not about how do you dress up, how to attract women, all these things. So you can't say that my content is made for a particular gender. Okay, philosophy or life is not for a particular gender. Almost all of my videos, except one or two, almost all of my videos are on pure philosophy and philosophers. I make content about different philosophers, ideas, ideologies, other things. One or two videos are on relationships, but relationships are also meant for everyone. So this kind of, I don't have any such content which is for a particular gender only. So I don't know why this ratio got disturbed significantly. So I don't have any explanation. I have one explanation, but I don't trust it that much. The explanation is that we have somehow assigned the work of thinking, leadership, philosophy to males only, and women think that okay, this man will do the thinking part or the logical part. I just have to take care of household chores, my budgeting things, my personal life, work, and other things. Why should I don't have to care about reading Hegel and Nietzsche and God is dead or not. I don't care. So maybe this is the reason I don't trust this very much, but I don't believe in it very much. I would like to ask you guys that if you can think of anything, whatever you can think of, that okay, this can be the reason, please let me in the comments, and then we can talk on it, like what it is, why is it so. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much for watching. Also, one more thing, my stats tell that almost 45% of you haven't subscribed to my channel. Like, you guys watch the videos and subscribe. If you have any complaint, any suggestion, any issue, then you can obviously tell it that in the comment section, and I will improve. Obviously, we all are here to improve. No one is perfect, and I don't want to be perfect, obviously, because I want to grow at all times. Okay, so yeah, you can subscribe to our channel, you can leave a like, leave a comment, tell me what is the reason for for those stats, and anything else which you want me to cover, what you want to see on this channel. Please share it with others, so that others actually watch good content and not crap which people are watching. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. Lights out.